They are illegally doing what they are doing, and if the government is supporting such acts, why is it chasing away poor people?
Since last month, the National Environmental Management Authority embarked on a demolition and eviction exercise of what they consider to be illegal structures developed on wetlands, particularly aiming at 315 households in Lubigi, and other parts of the country were served with restoration orders. This left thousands of vulnerable citizens frustrated and homeless. Whereas some activists, the exercise was blunt and double standard that can never be justified, insisting that the law is not being applied equally and that NEMA is favoring the powerful corporate interests, upon which they demanded compensation packages for the evictees.
And we have asked NEMA to halt all the exercises, halt all the operations until we have fully established this committee and streamlined all these operations and processes.
On the same note, he disputed allegations leveled against the institution he heads that there is selective application of environmental laws in favor of high-profile corporate institutions and perpetrators.
There has been a case also of a fuel station in Lubigi that has largely been talked about. This fuel station received approval in 2017, and the approval was received after environment and social impact assessment that time. So removing them would mean that government is backtracking on its own approval and would cause financial loss to you and me, the taxpayers.
Akankwasah went ahead and advised all members of the public who have encroached on wetlands not to be duped by politicians who are looking for votes, because the law is soon coming for them.
So we don't want our people to be confused by the politicians who are taking advantage of them as they look for votes. Don't be duped, because if you stay by force, the law is not on your side. You may be prosecuted, you may be imprisoned, you may be required to compensate government for restoration, you may be fined under Section 55 of National Environment Act. So if you've received a restoration order, and even if you have not yet received a restoration order, it's in your own interest and the interest of the general public.
It is upon this ground that Barirega Akankwasah, the executive director of NEMA, dismissed compensation proposals, reasoning that the encroachers had already been served restoration orders and compensating them will be more of a sanitization act for the crimes they committed.
Ordinarily, the evicted encroachers are supposed to compensate government for the cost of restoration in line with Section 133 of the National Environment Act 2019. Government cannot therefore compensate encroachers, as this would not only invite more encroachments in anticipation for compensation, but also would be a tacit approval by government to sanitize criminal activities. You cannot commit a crime and then the government compensates you for commission of that crime.
It should be remembered that the government decisively suspended the issuance of approvals of developments in wetlands since 2nd of September 2021, with an exception of critical public infrastructure like roads, pipelines, railways, telecommunications, among others, as well as enacting stringent environmental laws as an effort to contain the extinction of nature. According to the Constitution, a person who commits an environmental law is liable, upon conviction, to a maximum jail sentence of 12 years or a 600 million Uganda shillings penalty, or even both. Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.